Hey everybody, in today's video, I want to talk about interior lighting, how to handle it with artificial lights, how to place them, settings, and what to do so you can create a realistic scene like this. So we'll be using this free scene that I got from the Scene Express. I'll have the link in the description if you want to follow along. So let's get started. I'm going to turn off all the default lights, and I want to talk about how we're going to light up this space. Because right now, it's super dark. Obviously, you're probably dealing with the same issue where how do you actually place the lights accurately and make it look realistic? So to get started, I'm going to switch over to my lights layer here. I want to go over here to add lights. Now we've got technically five different lights to use in D5. The first one is a point light. Think of a point light as almost a light that is being emitted from a dome. So you've got like a circle and it's shooting light outwards. You would use this in like a chandelier, a pendant, something that's hanging down and emitting out. You wouldn't put it up here on a recess light, right? Because that would be a little weird because, light's casting down. It's not going out in all the directions, right? So the next light is this guy called spotlight. These are for your recess lights, right? These are your typical can lights. Anything that's shooting light down is going to be this guy. And what's handy about these is you actually have a little follow me controller. So that's perfect for these types of lights over here where you actually want to highlight something specific. So if I were to put this here and have it, point towards that artwork, I can actually just click and drag and it'll follow that. So that's pretty cool. Then you've got strip lights. So strip lights, think of these as your under cabinet lighting, right? These very thin bars, just like that. And then you've got rectangular lights, these big guys. This is like the strip light's big brother. It basically casts a larger area. And as you can see, it's much brighter than those little strip lights. And you can make them wider, longer, whatever you want, just with these scale controllers. The settings that we need to get into goes like this. So I'm going to go to my spotlight. And basically what I want to do is I want to plug in my lights wherever I have an actual light fixture, because if it's on, it should be casting light, right? So if I place it here and I fly over here, notice the light, although it's emitting light into my space, it doesn't look like it's actually on, right? So a little trick you'll see a lot of ArchViz artists do is actually trigger the material to be emissive. So when you do the eyedropper and you scroll down to the material, you'll see this guy right here called emissive. When you click that, it'll actually turn the light on and make it look like it's actually casting light. It will cast some light. That's what this emissive intensity setting is, but it's not going to be as powerful as like a dedicated light. And what's nice about this is you can actually choose the color or you can choose a temperature. If you're not familiar with what this is, this is on a Kelvin scale. If you look up any light fixture and you want to accurately match it, if you look at any of the specs, you'll actually see the color temperature right here. So this is 2700, 3000, 3200, 4000. And this is actually just based on the warmth of the light. So the lower the number, the warmer it'll be. So for example, if I were to grab this and just bring it all the way down here, see how yellow that is? And then if I go all the way to the right, how blue that is. So typically interior lights are going to be anywhere between 3 and 5,000. And there are recommendations for different temperatures in different spaces, right? These aren't just like made up numbers. There's actually a preference. So in kitchens, when it comes to the undercap light, we typically want that to be like a bright white kind of color. That's because it's task lighting. Same thing with like bathrooms, right? Think of like when you're getting ready in the morning, you're applying makeup, you don't want like a yellow tinge on your face. You want to see what you look like accurately. So that would be like a brighter white space. Any area where you kind of want to be like homey or cozy, that's going to be a warmer light. So that's a little rule of thumb. If you're ever curious on like what people use everywhere, you can actually do color temperature in rooms, residential, spelled that wrong. And you can actually see a nice little comparison of all the different colors, right? So you've got like warm white, cool white. So if you ever buy light bulbs, this is what they're talking about. They're talking about the actual temperature. And if you click on these graphs, you'll actually see like what types of rooms they should be for, right? So you can see the higher are reserved for areas where it's like task lighting, like hospitals and beauty salons and galleries where you don't want to change the color of the artwork, right? So anything that's related to coziness or being home is lower. So that's where that's coming from. Now that we understand that, let's talk about the other factors that come into play after we turn on the light here and we settle on a color, we need to settle on intensities. So I'm going to click my point light right here, and we've got a couple settings here, right? This is the actual light. You can switch the properties. So I can switch it to a strip light if I don't want to go down here and click strip light. And then I can choose an IES profile. So an IES profile, this is basically the profile or the shape of the throw of the light. So watch this. If I were to bring this down and switch to this guy, it's actually shooting light upwards because that's actually part of the profile. So this is shooting up and down. This is shooting just right down. So if you were to, wash a wall with light, I'm going to show you right over here. Oop. The profile is coming through. So that shape, this is all coming from the IES. There's another one that's going to change the scalloping there. So that's another way. And you can actually just download these online. Every manufacturer puts these out. This is not like a very specific rare texture. No, this is super common in the world of lighting. So this is how you can actually match the exact properties of a light fixture. So if you want your, renderings to match the real thing, use this. By default, any of these are pretty good. So we've got this. Then next is the intensity in lumens. So the lower it is, the dimmer the light will be. So you see I'm turning off. The higher it is, the more light will be coming through. The scale or slider is out of 300, but the actual world of like lumens and light fixtures, it goes way beyond that. So if I find a light that's 1200, I can just type that in and that'll overwrite that. So the other thing you'll see here, this is the cone angle. So think of how wide your light is. And then what's really important is attenuation radius. So check this out. If I've got a ceiling light here, you see this blue line? This is the attenuation radius. And this is basically saying how far should the light go? So right now I'm in here, the room is kind of bright, right? If I bring this all the way down, it's no longer bright because it's no longer lighting the area. It's no longer hitting the floor. So if you want a light fixture just to affect a small piece of your space, that's what this guy's going to do. This is going to control how far it's going. So if I make it really, really high, it's going through the floor, and that's why it's lighting everything up. But if I lower this, it's only hitting the edge of the wall here. So that's what that is. The next one that's really important is light source radius. If you crank this down to 1, your shadows are going to be super, super sharp. You can see here. And then if you go higher, everything's going to be super, super soft. So that's what that is. So if you want softer shadows, you're going to want this higher. Default to 5 to 7 is pretty good. If you want soft shadows, you typically have soft shadows if it's like an overcast day or diffused lighting where it's not super harsh. And then you would probably have like 1 or 2 super sharp lighting, like a bright sunny day. Then visible in reflection is, if there is a reflection, do you want this to glow? And then we covered the temperature and color. I'm going to go through the process of how I place lights. So I've already turned on my emissive. I'm going to turn off the rest of the materials here. So I'm going to click this, go to emissive, I'll turn that on. Again, I'm fine with all these basic settings. Where else do I have some lights? I've got some here. And I've turned that on. Okay, cool. So that's adding a little bit of light. You can see it's doing a little bit, which is fine. It doesn't need to do a crazy amount. And this is going to depend on the type of light setup you want. Like, do you want the room to be super bright? Do you want it to be dark? That's up to you. The other thing I'll point out is when you're doing lighting, I highly recommend you reset your exposure to 0 and you turn off auto exposure. Because if you have auto exposure, it's going to make everything look brighter and it's going to throw off all your values because you think, oh, okay, the room looks bright. I don't need any lights, but this is a lie. So turn that off, keep that at 0 and just work off of 0 and then crank after you do your lighting. Don't set your exposure high and then do your lighting. Doesn't make sense. Order of operations, put that at 0. So I'll talk about the process. I'll go to my spotlights. I'll place it somewhere. I'll tune the intensity. And I could use values online, but I can also go by eye depending on, look and feel. And I'll tune the temperature. So here I'm fine with somewhere around 4,000. Again, this is like a living room. I want it to be cozy. Once this is in a good spot, then I just duplicate my work. So if I hold down shift and drag out, now I've got a copy of that. And now I do the same thing over here. I'm going to hit control on both of them and then shift and drag out. So now I've got 4 lights right there that are now turned on. And this is before. and this is after. So you see I'm getting nice lighting here. So those are my spotlights. I'll do the same thing over here. I'm gonna click this, and then I'm gonna do a shift click, and I'm just gonna move this so it's visible. And what I'll do is I'll probably lower the intensity. I don't want these to be as bright. So I'm gonna hold Control and change this to, let's say, 50. Just so it's not as bright, because I'm gonna do some under cab lighting here. That way the focus is somewhere there. And I'll just do Shift again. And Shift again. And then you'll notice that there's a slight misalignment. So all you're gonna do is just move that in and align as necessary. I'm a big fan of these little dots right there. That way you can move in 2 axes. There we go. There we go. Perfect. So I've got the lighting there. I don't like how sharp this is. So this is kind of where I would tweak my cone angle, just so it's a little bit higher up, because we don't want all of this like darkness there. And you could boost the intensity too, but I recommend doing this. That way these corners aren't so dark. So now that you've done the spotlights, you could add it to these lights if you want something to be highlighted. Right now we do have them on as emissive material, so you could get away with just this and like cranking that up a little bit, or you could place your light and then do follow me to there. That's fine too, but definitely lower the intensity so it's not super bright. So let's talk about the strip lights. So right over here, you have strip lights. And this is like for undercab lighting, cove lighting, you know, these like little nooks and crannies. So I'm gonna place this here, and I'm basically going to have a width and a length. So that's what this guy is. So the size in the X is this guy. So if I make this 50, it's going to be wider. And if I lower this, it's going to be not as long. There we go. So maybe I go with 1300. A little pro tip is if you hit V on your keyboard, you can switch the gizmo to scale, and you can just align it like that. So then I can literally just do V and then shift over here and then V again. Okay, and now I'll just hold Control. That way I can target both of these and just tweak the intensity. So maybe I'll go with like a 20. And then you'll see here this concept of a barn door. So let me zoom in. And as I move this out, you see this is equivalent to the angle of your cones, right? So if you want it to be focused, you want your door to be lower. If you want it to be less focused and diffuse, you could do it like that. Totally fine. Again, it goes by the look. And then the length, this is basically the length of your diffuser, right? So I'm fine with keeping it like this. And then attenuation radius. Again, if I lower this, you see how it's not affecting anything, but if I increase it, now it's covering the countertop. And if I ever click show light shape, I get the actual bar here. So that's totally fine because you would actually see the light in the real world. So I'm fine keeping that there. And since this is like a task area, I do want it to be a little bit warmer than the rest of the lights. So that's totally fine. So we've got that, we've got our strips. We could copy this elsewhere, like if we wanted to do a light here. So watch this. So if I grab this here, I'll do V, click out, and then I'll push this guy up, and I could just drop him right in here. And typically with coves, I'll show you right here, this is a cove, right? And basically the LED lifts here and it points up and it bounces off of this. So if I rotate this, okay, and then I move this here, I'm gonna get some really nice soft light. You see that nice soft diffuse light? Because I'm not looking at the fixture, I'm looking at a light pointing up. See that? Kind of hard to see. So I'll put that there. And now I'm just going to play with my length. Again, if using V. Okay. And one thing to point out with the strip lights and the rectangular lights, you'll see I scaled it up here, but you see how my light's not here? The weird thing about these is it's like the center of the light is in the center of the box. It doesn't continue all the way through. So generally for the cove lights, I'll just use like an emissive material, or I'll just do a bunch of copies. So I'll put this here, and then I'll just like copy it over here and just be careful that there's not too much overlap. But again, this is all soft diffused light because the light is pointing up. And if you're not familiar with what cove light is, so it's to make spaces look lighter, taller, and again, it's diffused light. We're not looking at the actual light fixture. We're looking at the light just being bounced off of the cove, which is this right here. Okay, great. So then next we have our rectangular lights, which is this guy right here. So generally I use this if I'm like kind of feeling lazy and I don't want to light up the whole space. Like here I did put 4 spotlights, but let's say I'm in a rush. I've got like a lot of square footage. I could just increase the scale of this guy. And notice how it just went in one direction. That's because this guy is off. This is a good way to break the length and width. So if you want them to change at the same time, so let's say 4,000, it'll go proportionally. If you want them to be changed at different ratios, you would break it. So if I made this 100, notice how that doesn't change. So I'm going to make this 4,000 as well. So basically use this for like bulk lighting where I'm not very specific about like the realism. Let's say it's like really far away and it's not like in my face, then I would use this. And then I would just lower the intensity. So that's what that guy is. The other use case I would actually use it for, this again is like super rare, is to actually add a little bit more light. Let's pretend like I don't want to deal with, daylight because I don't want to mess with my my scene. I don't want any shadows. You can actually fake soft daylight by just rotating this plane 90 degrees and sticking it at a window. So if I go right over here, I go somewhere around here. Let's lower the scale or the size of it. Say 3,000. Yeah, perfect. And now the light is being shot right through here. So if I increase the intensity, see how I'm getting some lighting in here? So this is another way to get that really soft light without having to deal with an HDRI. And here we go. So basically, just to recap, you've got a bunch of different ways to light your space. You have the emissive material right over here, right? And I can hit I, turn it on and off. You've got point lights, which are generally good for like pendants, anything that's dropped. Your spotlights, which are good for recessed lights. Strip lights, which are good for undercab lighting. And then your rectangular light, if you just need a general area to be lit up, or you want a fake soft light coming from that side. So that's a wrap for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, drop a comment and be sure to subscribe. Thanks.